I hope you don't get the sickness.
My boy Kurt is a stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beast dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need 3 wishes. Stay-at-home Disney dad.
Just like that, we're off to the Morocco Pavilion. Now, I heard that during COVID, the owners of this pavilion had to sell it back to Disney World or something. I don't know the full details. I just hope it's fully functional and up and running next time we go, because like Mexico, this is a pavilion that engulfs you and makes you forget you're in Disney World. Here's what the internet says. More native craftsmen were used in the building of this pavilion than any other in all of World Showcase. This is evident in the supreme quality of the geometric patterns and mosaic art found throughout Morocco. The warm terracotta tiles and carved plaster buildings topped with green roofs amidst the winding alleys and stuccoed archways add to the charm of the, quote, jewel of North Africa, end quote. More of the exquisite craftsmanship is found in the gates to the Medina, the old city. In the Medina, you will find a bustling marketplace or bazaar. The Ville Nouveau, new city, has the Royal Gallery and the Moroccan National Tourist Office, where you can see a 3-screen slideshow of the lifestyles and landscape of Morocco, end quote. That's fun. I've never seen that. Also not far off from what I wrote. I wrote, you got to go through some of the shops and come out the other side, and it feels like you're almost lost in a series of little streets and vendors. The first time we went deep into the little town, I remember kind of walking around, taking it all in, and we peeked into the back of some random store window, and there was Jasmine, like a Jasmine meet and greet. So wonderfully random. This pavilion has some of my favorite shopping. Everything here seems so unique and not touristy, if that makes sense. I'm always in awe of the little trinkets and mini statues and regalia available in these markets. Again, I don't know the full details of what happened. I just heard that this pavilion fell on hard times during the last 15 months or so, so I hope once everything reopens, it'll be okay. Finding that Jasmine deep in the pavilion is on our must-do list for the next trip. Okay, for a Moroccan-themed movie, obviously Aladdin. Aladdin, King of Thieves, or Aladdin, Return of Jafar would have been ideal, but I've reviewed all 3 of those already. I did manage to dig up a random VHS tape called the Disney Princess Collection. It's a series of short stories featuring Disney princesses, and yes, there's a Jasmine story, so better than nothing. Let's do this. Let's press play. There's an ad for a new 3-disc series called DVD Princess Collection, although I'm watching one of them on VHS right now, so this must have been right in the overlap between the DVDs and VHS. The one I have features, quote, all new stories from Cinderella and Belle, despite the majority of the preview footage being Ariel. One of the other DVDs, there's a new song, kind of a We Are the World style song with all the Disney princesses singing in unison. That must have been an expensive day in the old sound booth. Next is an ad for a Winnie the Pooh movie, and despite just having watched 3 or 4 of them, I have no idea if this is one I've seen or one I haven't seen. They're talking about a Huffalump. Okay, this sounds new. Actually, this sounds pretty interesting compared to the ones I watched, which were about nothing. And not in like a funny Seinfeld about nothing kind of way. More in like a non-Seinfeld, not funny, not amusing, and not interesting kind of nothing way. We get an ad for Mulan, and my daughter perks up and sings along with the clips of every song. I'm doing something right. If she can grow up like Mulan, I'll be happy. Out of that, we get another ad for a Winnie the Pooh collection. Home on the Range ad. Now, if I had to choose between watching another Winnie the Pooh movie or Home on the Range a second time, I would probably pull the fire alarm. Ooh, all right, feature presentation. Princess Stories Volume 1, A Gift from the Heart. We start with a dreamy sequence, a little girl point of view, that's POV, not prisoner of war, no, that's something completely, that's a different letter. Never mind, okay, she wakes up and sees a letter from her mom. She opens it, and the ghost of Ariel starts talking to her. The animation is not what it should be. The moving mouth of Ghost Ariel does not match the words spoken, not even close. They didn't even try. They have like a 3-second clip of Ariel in her mouth just boomerangs for the full 90 seconds. No. Okay, first story. We go to the sea and we see a ballerina lamp. Ariel sees something swirling on the surface, while below Sebastian warns Ariel not to be late for practice. She is busy daydreaming with Flounder about living on the surface, because of course she is. Sebastian tells her it's not great up there. In fact, right now, there's a storm coming, which makes Ariel happy, because when there's a storm, ship stuff always ends up in the water. Just Ariel. So to connect those dots, Ariel is a big fan of storms capsizing and breaking ships, because that always sends fun trinkets into the water for her to pillage. This is the mermaid version of grave robbing Ariel. Ariel finds the ballerina thing, winds it up, and it spins, and she says she will one day dance like this. They see an old cabin on the side of the sea. She tells Sebastian to go peep in the window, and after he says no, she tricks him into doing it anyways, and in the very next sentence, and I know an abusive relationship when I see one. This is an abusive relationship. Inside the rundown shack, people are boarding up the broken windows. I look down to correct some typing mistakes, and when I look back up, there's a real human ballerina twirling in the shack, on almost like stepping on Sebastian. He gets out of there and tells Ariel to stop daydreaming, but that just causes her to break into song. She sings about dancing the days away and doing ballet in, quote, a tutu. That's not too tight. Okay, pause, Ariel. I realize women's fashion is a $1 trillion industry built on shaming women's body sizes and making them feel less than when it comes to what society deems an ideal size, but that being said, where are you going to find something that's too tight for you, Ariel? You're drawing with a waist so small you could pop the bottom out of a paper cupcake wrapper, turn it upside down, and wear it as a tutu, and it would still be loose on you, okay? And there she is. The meme, the African-American mermaid Gabriella, who happens to be deaf. And why isn't this character a well-known icon of the Disney universe? She has a blue octopus as a sidekick. Okay, they go to find a cave that has a magical wishing starfish that will grant you wishes. So they're wishing on a starfish. That's clever. I'll give them that. Sebastian waits outside. And there's a great paranoid horror movie sequence where he starts wigging out because he's alone and it's scary, and he joins them at the last second. A snapping turtle attacks, they escape now, and some underwater sea snails grab the girls. They tell Sebastian to do something. He walks out and he tries to convince them that he's related to them, the evil sea snails. It's kind of funny. Sebastian cuts the gals free from the slime web and they all escape. Starfish sounds like me trying to do James Earl Jones. First, he will grant the wish of the mermaids. Gabrielle wishes to sing. Ariel wishes for 2 tails so she can dance. That's nightmare stuff. They start spinning together and they come out still deaf and still a mermaid. Nothing happened. It didn't work. The star apologizes. He blew it. He's a phony. He can't grant wishes under pressure. Can we give ourselves one more chance? Why can't we give love that one more chance? They have a come to Jesus moment where they both realize they are perfect just the way they are. Gabrielle sings she's okay with the fact that she's okay with the fact she'll never be able to sing, and then Ariel immediately breaks into song. Timing girl, read the room. Gabrielle is a great character. She's legit underwater signing. And I love it. Someone make a Little Mermaid 4 already. Give this girl an entire movie. Ariel's story ends up, and next is Belle. Same thing. Floating boomeranging head of Ghost Belle where her mouth animation doesn't come close to matching her words. Story 2, Belle. The big surprise. This is actually like a storybook. This whole story is still unmoving pictures with words underneath, like the pages of a real book. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Somehow this is the basic cell dragging animation as unmoving Chip floats around the screen. Remember the old Incredible Hulk cartoon? This is that. Belle and Chip make a Christmas wreath. The odd 3 or 4 second part is almost animated. This is a really weird segment. The voices sound close to the original cast though, so maybe they spent their money on the actors instead of animators for this one. They all look for Belle. She's missing, and there's a trail of acorns that leads everyone to her wreath. Beast then surprises Belle with a book. He wrote a story for her. I don't know if it'll be very good. Okay, we see the rose. So this also takes place during the first movie. So this, Enchanted Forest, and the 3 stories for Magical World all took place after she was captured in Beauty and the Beast and before she broke the spell. Okay, sure. How long was she captured? And that's it for Belle. On to Cinderella. Oh, I hope what happened to the king's birthday last year doesn't happen again this year. What? You didn't hear what happened at the king's birthday last year? Okay, settle down, Sam the Snowman. This is the same style as the Belle story. It's all frames with words at the bottom. Cinderella has forgotten it's the king's birthday and hasn't bought him a gift. Out of nowhere, one scene suddenly starts moving as a few characters exit stage left while the rest of the scene remains unmoving. Side note, I'll never rag on them for cutting corners with animation and all these side projects and sequels. I'm shopping around my own cartoon and cost of high-end animation is insane. But when you save money on animation and the script is lazy, that's when my eyes start to vibrate, Disney. This compilation is hard to get a handle on. The Little Mermaid story was great and 100% animated. The Belle story was kind of lazy, but kind of worked in a storybook form. Same with this one. Like, if they actually animated it, it would be boring because very little is happening. But viewing this as a book really works with a simple script. She looks for a present for the king and gives up after someone suggests bread. Fairy godmother told her to give a gift from the heart. The king asks her what she bought him, which is super rude, king, but she sings a song. Actually, the only thing she sings is, if you can dream, the wish you're making on the star is coming true. Everyone goes nuts, and I get the lesson, but that was not a song. That was 14 words. The king says it was his favorite gift. Yeah, screw everyone else. Okay, bail out of that one, and we have Jasmine's floating incorrectly talking head next, and she doesn't even sound 5% what the real Jasmine sounds like. I'm worried this one will annoy me. Since I began this VHS journey, Jasmine has emerged as one of my favorite princesses, and this whole review is supposed to be Morocco/Aladdin themed and has not been until right now, so no pressure. Okay, her and Aladdin and Iago ride the carpet to Quirkistan. Aladdin is not the usual voice actor either. Jasmine is not the usual voice actress. Genie is not Robin Williams, but guess what? Gilbert Gottfried is 100% Iago. He must just sit drinking coffee in the Disney studio lobby all like, do you have any work for me today? Yeah, I can't do his voice. But don't feel bad for him. If Disney doesn't have any work for him, he has many other options. There's a spoiled kid prince. Some guy tells them the weather is gloomy when he's gone, but it's nice when he's there. Aladdin asks what happens when he's mad. The guy says, you don't want to find out. Iago looks into the camera and says, why do I think we're gonna find out? Okay, that's funny. They all enter the palace trying to entertain this child ruler. Things go awry. Jasmine saves the day, because of course she does. Because she's truly the only likable character out of all of the Aladdin characters. Anyway, she just tells a flashback story within the story and makes the little jerk kid happy. He says he needs another story tomorrow and that Jasmine can never leave. Aladdin gets mad and the kid says he's gonna take what he wants. And yeah, eat that, Aladdin. Isn't that your motto tossed right back in your jerk face? Don't you just steal whatever you want, Aladdin? Stealing from the bad guys is still stealing, bro. You're a fraud. You're a fraud, Aladdin. Just stay, Jasmine. At least that little kid sees your value. No, they're all going to escape, and the guards have those awesome Alibaba swords. During all this, Iago is trying to steal a giant bag of jewels that is bigger than he is. That's kind of funny. They escape. Everyone is mad, and Jasmine realizes life will be better for everyone in the palace if she just stays and makes the kid happy each day. She said she grew up a princess and knows, quote, the needs of other people outweigh your own, end quote, right? Tell me one other princess that holds themselves to that moral high ground. Jasmine is the best. Aladdin has a temper tantrum and says, why do I have to be without Jasmine because some kid had a temper tantrum? Aladdin is the worst. Back in the other palace, Jasmine tells the boy king the story of a street rat. Yeah, you feel that one, Aladdin? She still thinks you're a street rat. Aladdin returns to embrace Jasmine and say goodbye. They tear up and then they ask if Jasmine's mother and father can also come say goodbye. Genie turns Abu and Iago into a man and woman and they walk into the palace. Genie is now disguised as her grandfather and they are playing the shameful game. Okay, they turned carpet into their pet wallaby Unger. That's really funny. I don't know why that's funny, but it is. It's like Ren and Stimpy humor right there. The kids get emotional and tell her to go home. The kid gets emotional and tells her to just go home. Turns out he likes being nice and goes around the kingdom doing other nice things while Jasmine and Aladdin make out hard to end the segment. Back to the bedside note. Remember, when things happen from the heart, magical things can happen to you. Roll credits. This wasn't spectacular, but it was far from bad. If you love these princesses, it was a collection of nice little bite-sized stories that didn't insult your intelligence by being stretched into a full-length movie, so thumbs up for that. We end like we have every week so far during the Epcot tour. Back in 2009, we gave our then 13-year-old son all the remaining snack credits and sent him on a food tour of all 11 pavilions to sample and rate classic treats from each country. Here he is in Morocco, rating the walnut baklava.
All right, Morocco. This is a walnut baklava. Oh yeah. That's really good. I don't know where to put this. 7.
That's what I think about.
personal appearance that he has. Thank you.
Okay, Macy. Here we go.